Christianity stole Christmas from the pagans. Well, there's a lot of truth in that. However, it's not the whole truth. It's worth looking into this because Christmas is the most important festival for most people in the year, apart from our own birthdays. Easter technically should be the more important festival, and it's very nice to have the chocolate, but most people like Christmas a lot better because of the stories in it. Now, Christmas is 25th of December, just after the winter solstice. This is, of course, in the Northern Hemisphere. And we have to talk about the Northern Hemisphere because Jesus was born in the Northern Hemisphere and all the dates are Northern Hemisphere dates. So the 21st of December is the winter solstice and the point where the sun returns to us. Obviously, we know now that it's the earth going around the sun, but they didn't know that in ancient days. And the 25th is the first day that you can literally physically observe that the day has got slightly longer again. So it's a very important time to know that spring will come again and the whole cycle of life will start again. It's the return of the sun, whether you spell it S-U-N or S-O-N. So it's perfectly reasonable to say that Christianity just jumped in on that one and nicked Saturnalia and the whole of the pagan festivals of ancient times. But there's just a little bit more to it than that, because the early Christians did not associate with pagan themes. They weren't particularly involved in pagan worship. They were very much led by the story of this man who helped and guided and included and who healed. Of course, pagan stuff would have crept in. And when I say pagan stuff, I'm talking about these huge pantheons of gods of different religions from all over the world. And everybody does like to stick to the familiar. But the other reason why Christmas is at the 25th of December is it comes from teachings in the second and third century of Christianity. And we all know nowadays, with the advent of fake news all over social media, that if you say something often enough, people start believing it's true. Now, the Gospel of John says that Jesus was condemned to death and died on the 14th of Nisan, which would have translated in the Roman calendar of those days to the 25th of March. And it was believed, and St. Augustine wrote about this in the fourth century, that Jesus was conceived, that the Annunciation was on the 25th of March, and that he was also crucified on the 25th of March. And that, of course, is exactly 9 months before the 25th of December. So that came to be the norm, that it coincided wonderfully with the return of the sun might have been planned. It may not have been planned, but we don't know whether the writer of the Gospel of John even knew about these things. We have no clue. We just know it came into common parlance. And yes, let's be fair, any new religion is going to build itself on the foundations of an old one and nick bits from it. There's no doubt that many of the ancient churches in Britain, where I live, especially down here in the southwest, are built on what we now know are the Michael and Mary ley lines, and also built on old temples of Mithras or previous pagan temples. Where there is a sacred ground, humanity with any kind of pretension to spiritual knowledge will be drawn to that sacred ground, and they will build the new church on the old church. It's how we rock. I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying how it is.